I did then. I loved traveling clear up to the time we moved over here. If we moved over here, I liked to get in the car and go around the lake over there and run around with my husband. But I didn't care anything about getting on a bus and going to Louisiana or any place like that. It got to where it tired me out pretty bad.
And you used to fish any when y'all camped out?
Yeah, we cooked and ate fish, and we'd
Did you fish too?
Oh yeah, I fish too. Yeah, we'd take cans of food with us, pork and beans and things like that, and a big thermos bottle full of coffee and a jug of water, good water from home, and things like that. We had a lot of fun. And one time we came over here to Grand River to camp out, and one of the boys got hungry, and he had to jump off and go in a little restaurant down at Wagner and get a hamburger, and he got an onion that had been, I guess, something that had been laying there a long time or something, and he got terribly sick that night, and he vomited and vomited and vomited. And so he didn't fish any that night. The other two boys fished, but he didn't fish any. We had to leave early next morning to get him back home. We had a lot of fun coming over to Grand River and fishing over here, and when we were first married, during the 20s. But when the 30s came, we had Gene, and he was in junior high school. And the Depression came on, and I had to help my folks at home. And Laurel had his hands full with Gene, and at that time he was trying to buy a little tax title land over here too. And because he had suspicion that sooner or later they'd build some dams on Grand River. It was talk of it then. And so he had figured that when they did, he wanted some land, wanted to have something that he could get some money out of, and they could get real cheap at that time, but get money out of it later. And so that was what he was working for. And he had some land, he sold some land that he had had since way back early in the 30s. He just bought maybe 30 or 40 acres for the taxes on it, which was about $6 or $8 maybe, and then he had the title squatted on it, paid the lawyer for that, and it was in good shape. It had a good title to it, and he got good pay for that. And he was a good manager like that, you know. He would look ahead and thought about when we'd grow old, and it wasn't in the Social Security then. We just had to do your own saving then, and on salaries we have to buy your shoes and clothes and always look nice and get a haircut and have a beauty shop do your hair and everything like that, and maybe get sick and have to have a doctor and so on and so forth. It's awful hard to save money on a salary and run a little home too. We had a little home of our own, a little stucco house on 2525 East 5th Place in Tulsa. And so we'd talk about when we'd grow old, you know, and what we better do to be thick so we wouldn't have to be on our folks or depend on them or anything. And so it worked out. We went to a fortune teller one night, and we weren't married. That was in Oklahoma City. And she told us that we'd get married and that we'd come to the extreme eastern part of the state, and that there we'd both spend the rest of our lives.
This ain't extreme east, though, is it?
Oh, yeah, there's the northeastern corner of the state. We're right in the northeastern corner, yeah. There's only one county between the Craig County is above us, and Tulsa County is next to us on the west, and Okmulgee County is next to us, and Wagner County. We're join all those counties, and we're right almost in the corner of the northeast corner of the state. And she told us a lot of things that we were surprised that that I didn't think fortune tellers could tell anything, you know, but she told us just what's happened, that we'd do real well over here and that we'd have our own home and we'd be very happy for a few years, but that death would come to him first and then to me. And she just told us just like it would happen. But we never did tell anybody much about it because too many people don't believe in fortune.
Oh, Vivian, there's something I want you to tell Lonnie about. When y'all bought the house on Fifth Place, that it was only so many rooms, two or three rooms or so. And then about y'all building the room on it.
Well,
when y'all sold the
I'm
house.
getting hungry, sweetie.
Well,
When we bought this little house, it was only a two-room stucco house, and we liked it because it was clean and nice and in a nice neighborhood. It was just 2 blocks from University. And the people out there in the houses were all nice houses, and they had paved Fifth Place, and we had the paving tax to pay on, but it was enough that we had 10 years to pay it and had just payments to make, you know. And so then as soon as we bought it, we didn't have the money to make the down payment on it. It was $600. And so Law's brother, one that had was 4 years older than Law and had fought in World War I in France, why, he offered to let us have $600 to make the down payment. He liked the little place, too. And so Law borrowed $600 from him to pay down on the place.
You're
And
gonna
we
have to come eat.
bought the place, and so then,
Go ahead and finish telling him the story.
so anyway, why, he built on 2 rooms onto the back. And we'd never noticed anything going wrong while he was building those 2 rooms. He'd go to his office to work, you know, and then come home that evening. He'd work till dark and so on and so forth. We never noticed anything going wrong or anything. So we lived there until 1962. In December, we bought this place and moved over here. We didn't know we were leaving anything. We bought away everything we had there. It took 2 big truckloads to bring it all. And so when we sold to an apartment house builder, and so Mrs. Winstead lived the other side of the house next to us. They had already tore down her house, Mrs. Plummer's house, and she could just stand in her window and see all whatever they were doing to our house, you know. So she saw them tear down our house, and so a man and his wife and 2 children lived over here on the highway between here and Tulsa. And she saw them dig a bundle of something out of the ground under the back room of our house and run and put it in his truck. And but what happened before that, we were away from home one day over here somewhere and went home, and one of the neighbors over on the other street, Mamie Massey, came over and said, Miss Tuttle said there was 3 men here today, and they tried to tear the lumber off the bottom of your house, and had shovels. We're going to dig under your house, and they tried to tear the lumber off. And I come over here and told them that you weren't home, and they better leave that house alone, or I'd call the police to them. And she said they stood there and talked for quite a while, and then they went on away. But she said they were about to rip those boards off your house, and we saw where they'd hit one with a shovel or something, you know. And the boards of this little house, so he put a concrete strip along, and then he put the weatherboard right down on that concrete strip, and they couldn't get under the house, couldn't get anything under there. They'd have to tear the lumber off, you know, to get under there. So anyway, we said, well, they must have had something buried under there, something. We never thought anything about it. And we just went on living there, and nobody ever came back or bothered anymore or anything we knew anything about. So Ms. Winstead said that they dug up a bundle of money or a pot of money or something full of money. It was all he could do to carry it out to his truck and put it in. Said he ran with his truck to his truck and put it in. And the boy said, Daddy, he says, come on and get in this truck. And he says, why don't you come back and dig some more? We might find some more. So he come back and dig some more. And he said, no. He says, we're going home. He says, come on. He says, leave those holes lay right there and come on. Leave those shovels lay right there and come on. So he made the boy go on and get in the truck, and they went home in a hurry. Said when they came back, why, they dug around under there. She never did see him dig up anything more. And she said it was money. It says it was a great big bundle of money that dug up under your house, under that little room that my husband built onto the house, you know, little.
You think it was yours?
I don't know what it was. We never did know we
no,
were.
it wouldn't have been theirs buried down
We
there.
were moved over here
Somebody
then.
buried it there.
Somebody had buried it there, and a while before he built the house, before he built the house.